Congratulations.
Congratulations.
So we are here today because we have just got back from viewing a wedding venue. We went to Southwood. It's just called Southwood Weddings, isn't it?
I think, but first, let's not forget, we want to just introduce ourselves if this is the first time you're here. So we're Natalie and Talia from Great British Venues, and we tour wedding venues so you don't have to.
Exactly that. And that's exactly what we've just done.
Yeah, so we've toured Southwood
House is what we're going to call it.
Wait. Southwood Weddings.
Yeah. I think we'll
Southwood
discuss
Weddings.
why it's not called. I think it doesn't know what it is. Might be. I don't know. But yeah, just Southwood Weddings, which is what do they call it? It's described on the website as a private residence, or once was a private residence. So ultimately, it's a big house. Yeah. So it's a fairly old house.
The marketing doesn't say what they will call it.
Yeah, I think it was
what were you expecting going in?
I was expecting it to be like a manor house.
100% manor house. The website does a really good job of giving manor house. And I quite like the look of it from the outside.
But it's definitely, it hasn't got the grounds and location that you would expect from a manor house, which is, when we arrived, it was like, oh, okay, it is a house. Like, I can see how this would have one day just been a rich person's house.
A really lovely house.
Yeah.
Quite close to the road.
Yeah, so it's basically in the middle of Halifax. Should have made that point at the start. So it's on a nice residential.
It's a nice road.
It's like an old road, basically it was once a residential road of posh big houses. And they are set back. They all have, big gateways and, drives and everything. But
a house.
It is a house.
We need to talk about what else it is. So the other thing that Southwood House is a Masonic lodge.
That's actually what it is.
And that's its primary function. That's what it operates as. And I believe the Masons probably own it. The Masons are a group of usually grey-haired men, operate in a bit of a secret society fashion, and there's a little bit of controversy behind them. But actually, I think they're probably just a group of nice, well-to-do men that like to get together and
have a chat.
And give each other titles, and fair play to them. We do it with Cava or Prosecco today. They do it in their lodge, as they call it, a Masonic lodge.
Yeah, so they have meetings about things that I don't have a clue what about, but there's lots of meetings, and therefore there's meeting rooms for their Masons meetings, and you have to be like a member, and it's private secret meetings going on.
Should we go from the beginning? We arrived.
Yeah.
We arrived, drove in, small little drive. You're immediately in the car park, which has about, I think they might have said 30 or 40. It looked like about 20, 25 spaces.
It's not a long drive. You go through the gateway.
Irish.
You are straight onto, you can see the house straight away.
Yeah, we'll show you some pictures of the drive.
Yeah.
Play the reel. But the actual house itself looked quite nice. It's my kind of style.
It's big.
It's oldie worldy. Did it have a Hy-Vee, or am I just... No, I don't think it did, but it was that like old stone.
Old. They couldn't... the wedding coordinator that showed us around, she didn't know the history of the house and how old it was. So we don't actually know that one. It's not very old. It's not... I think it's probably within 100 to 200 years old.
Are you basing that on any knowledge whatsoever?
No, not really. I was just looking at the stone.
We've been to other venues and they're older. Oh yes, this is between 100 and 120 years. We're going to look it up and we're going to put it in the description. And we'll see whether Talia was right.
It's just from the back. It doesn't actually look that old at all. It could just be like a 60-year-old house.
And if you're getting married in this part of the world where Southwood is based, Halifax, Huddersfield, West Yorkshire, those kind of areas, everything is stone. I'm not from this part of the world. I don't have the Yorkshire twang. I have the lovely, charming Manchester, Liverpool twang. Everything is stone and everything looks old and romantic and nice and rustic.
That is why people would like to get married in West Yorkshire.
Okay, let's talk about it though. So
it's
outside.
A good-looking house.
Yeah,
it looks nice.
What about the entrance into the inside? How did you feel walking in? I liked it. I'm just going to say that. I love a bit of panelling.
There was a lot of panelling.
Dark wooden panelling.
Panelling.
Do you remember what was on the side as we walked in?
Oh, King Charles.
King Charles.
King Charles.
I wonder whether I think that might be a Mason thing. Do they pledge allegiance to the king, like the brownies or scouts?
Maybe.
Like they have to pledge
Oh,
allegiance.
I just thought he might have been there.
This is not the venue. This is the king's not going to Southwood.
Oh,
House.
he might have done.
I don't.
He might have done.
I think maybe the Masons just hero worship him.
Maybe.
Okay, but yeah, the entrance wasn't bad. I thought it was quite nice. Oldie worldy. I'm going to say that a lot.
Yeah.
But oldie worldy.
It's very, very heavy dark panelling in the hallway. Which I guess makes it feel old. So maybe it is old. I don't know. If somebody knows how old Southwood is, please pop it down in the comments.
I'm going to find out.
Okay, so yes. So you walk straight into the main hallway, which they've got a bit of like a reception.
Not a massive reception area. There's not a massive. It's a hallway for a house.
It's a hallway.
Yeah, but it's a nice hall.
There was a table, but I don't actually think it was a reception desk because I don't think it's big enough.
It doesn't need a reception. It's a house. And I mean, it had a nice sign on the pit. I don't know who was getting married that day, but there was a nice sign.
Yeah.
And you could have a welcome sign there.
Yeah.
Or an easel. That was okay.
Yeah, exactly.
How would the day go?
Okay.
Start to finish.
So there is no accommodation at this venue, by the way. So that means that it is a case of arriving just on the day.
Yeah, cool.
Nobody will be staying there. There are plenty of hotels within the local area. That, for anybody that wants to stay over, but there isn't anything on site. Basically, so the first thing that we wanted to see was we asked if there was a dressing room, because we know that's what you're all keen to know about.
And was the answer yes or no? It's hard to...
There was a room that you could use.
So, on one hand, guys, box tick.
There is a room. They do give you if you want a dressing room, they will give you a room.
Talia's being very, very coy. So, yes, it's not a dressing room. Yes, it's not got loads of mirrors. Yes, it's not like designed. And they were really honest about that. It's not designed. It's not set up. It's not luxurious. You don't necessarily want your pictures. You're getting ready pictures there. I don't think there was a hook for your dress. There was like one long mirror they put on a table. There was trestle tables. It's not where you are having mimosas and croissants for breakfast. Although they said you can do that. You can bring your stuff in and your bridesmaid should be doing that. So if you're a bridesmaid listening, remember that's one of your responsibilities. Yeah. But it's functional rather than decorative. Would you say it's functional?
So Nat failed to tell you that the dressing room is upstairs in the venue. And upstairs is actually not generally part of the wedding venue. So how it works at Southwood is the ground floor is used as a wedding venue. However, the upstairs rooms are still basically there for the
Masons.
For the Masonic meetings.
And that's where they have their meetings. There was a big chair.
Yeah, so basically,
like for the Grand Mason.
So basically, yes, you can use a room upstairs, but it's one of the Masons' rooms, and there's these blue chairs circling the whole room, just lined up, and it's just a little bit odd.
It is a bit dated. It's
just not a dressing room.
And it's got all the pictures of the Masons. So they've got pictures, like, there must have been 40, and with the titles and how long they've been. And a lot of middle-aged white men. I'm not saying that they could diversify a little bit, but maybe they could diversify a little bit.
Anyway, conclusion is...
there is a room.
There's a room if you really want to get ready on site. However, seeing as though there's no accommodation there, I would probably recommend booking a hotel the night before to go to with your bridesmaids and everything, and get ready at a nice hotel to be able to enjoy nice photos before arriving there.
True.
Or at home.
I was going to say, my eyebrow lady, hello there, Helen. Hope you watch this one day. She's promised to be a guest on one of our episodes. So Helen, shout out to you. Absolutely wonderful.
She's got a lot of experience in wedding venues.
She has absolutely wonderful wedding makeup artist. People are choosing to get ready at home
because it's like,
and it's nostalgia. And she's like, obviously it's the people with the nicest and biggest houses doing it, but it's like quite bougie to get ready at home today. Maybe.
If you're local in Halifax, then yes, maybe this is worth going to have a look at. actually, if that's the case. If you are based in that area or close by, and you don't need to have accommodation on site and a dressing room on site, then actually this could be a potential.
So yeah, it fits lots of boxes, and we'll go through more stuff. But for me, if you want to go to a wedding venue, arrive, have a nice day, and then leave, I think it's good. But we need to talk about the ceremony. If you don't get ready there, you're just rocking up to a ceremony.
Yes. Okay. So we got shown into the ceremony room, and it was all.
What is your initial thoughts?
I thought it was pretty.
I really liked it.
Yeah, it was really light.
I thought, beautiful windows, nice decoration.
Yeah,
they had really nice chairs, which is really important.
So again, just making the points that this, when we went, it was set up for a wedding. So it had been fully decorated for a wedding. So there was really nice chairs.
There was like
sashes on the back of the chairs. They had it was all set up with the aisle and the dressing around the top of the thing. And so
it's you could have beautiful weddings there.
Yeah. And it's a decent sized room, and that is the main room. That is the main room that then gets turned around to be the wedding breakfast, and also then gets turned around again for the evening. I mean, we'll talk about them in a bit, but if you just kind of bear that in mind. So yeah, beautiful windows all the way around. So it's a really light room. Love that for a ceremony, because we have seen some quite dingy ceremonies. And
I think it would easily fit 120 people.
Yeah.
We've seen a lot smaller, say they'd fit 80.
I think
it might fit 150. Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
We've probably got the details in the.
We should. We'll tell you that shortly. But what's after the ceremony?
No, I haven't finished. So in that room, so I have one problem with that room, which could be fixed, maybe.
The floor.
And maybe I don't think. Was there anything wrong with the floor?
It was an okay floor, but it wasn't like brand new. It was like light. I think there was a few scuffs, but no. Sorry, Southwood, if you're watching.
Okay.
It wasn't.
I didn't notice that. If it was an issue, I would have noticed. It was purely because, like I said, that the room gets turned around to be the dinner room.
Some wedding venues have turnarounds. You have to get over it.
It's a real bugbear for
Talia is a total snob for any wedding venue that doesn't have different rooms for each thing.
I think a bit of a change of scene is nice.
Okay.
Anyway, that's not what I was about to say. I've accepted that is the way things are there, and that's fine. But
thank God.
It means that the kitchen is right there. Just the kitchen doors.
You need the kitchen right there. So that the servers can.
So when we were in there, we could see people through the kitchen sort of flappy door, just right there. Like it just needed like a bit of
a curtain
an
or
extra, like something that blocks that door. I mean, I'm sure nobody's even going in the ceremony, so I might be making a big deal out of that when it's not a problem.
I think that was bad.
Yeah, I think it was a really nice ceremony room, and it's quite neutral. Would be really good for any sort of decor.
Yeah. You could put like a total own spin on it. It's very light, which makes me think now that's really at odds with some of the other spaces.
Yeah.
But I didn't really feel that whilst I was there. It worked. But that's a ceremony room. I actually think the big part of this venue is not the ceremony room. It's the outdoor space. Let's talk about the bar and the outdoor space.
Okay, so that's where you would go after the
I do's.
It is, because so let's just give you a bit of a placement of things. In that the ceremony room is just off a corridor, and you go down the corridor and then into
a very wide corridor. It's not like this dingy little thing.
It's not a nice corridor.
I mean, it's not expertly decorated.
So this is one of the things that upsets me a little bit about this venue, because the main spaces that you would use is the main room and the bar area, which leads out onto the garden. But you do have to cross through the corridor to get to it. And it's just, the corridor hasn't had as much effort and attention put to it in terms of like decor. It's just very basic, and I think it's just a bit of a shame to just not have the same feel throughout.
It feels like a Masonic lodge or a church hall
in the middle,
or
hallways and upstairs.
But what does the bar feel like?
The bar's lovely.
It's not like the most contemporary, like classiest. You don't think you're at like a fancy London hotel or even like a fancy castle venue. It's a bar, but it's functional and it's a decent size.
It's a nice bar, and I think people would feel very comfortable there.
There was a lot of tables for like your
Yeah,
Auntie Pat and
Yeah,
like
I think
Yeah.
family, older relatives would feel very comfortable in that bar
and you
area.
can decorate it. And during the day, it's lovely windows, so it's all
Yeah,
nice and open. So the
those nice
bar is
windows.
fine. For the canapes, I could see somebody with a little tray, and I think that's fine. The outside, so the bar leads right onto the outside, which we'll show in the video.
Yeah.
She's gonna laugh. I thought on the website they really make the outside look lovely. A bit small. It's not an estate with acres and acres, but they have a beautiful patio that probably sits like with tables for that was to seat like 30, 40 people. Lovely. And we went on a lovely sunny day and it looked nice. And then there's some steps going down and they talked about putting candles there.
Yeah.
And then there's a little lawn area. And I say
Yeah.
little lawn area. It might be the size of a nice, if you've got a garden at home, it's the size of a nice, decent garden. It's not the size,
It's the size of a big garden.
Yeah.
It's big.
Like a nice,
a rich person's garden.
Yeah, it is. It's not a country estate though. You've not got acres and acres. You've got a nice big garden, and you could easily put lawn games there. You could easily have mini golf there, and then they've got a little wilderness bit to the side. But tell me what your thoughts were on the outside space, Talia.
So she's asking me this because it really highly offended me, but she doesn't understand why. Okay, so
I'm not that bothered.
When you look at the website, you look at Hitched, there are these beautiful photos of couples. I think it's basically the staged photos.
A stage shoot, so they've brought in models, they've brought in a stylist company and spent
they're having their
loads.
photos on the steps with the house behind them, and it looks all glamorous and really nice. But what you don't really see from that is the view from
at the
house. However, if you are to go out of the back,
if you stand at the house,
if you're
open
going
the doors
out into the garden, there is a new build housing development right in front of you. Like there's a wall at the bottom of the garden. Again, the garden isn't that big in terms of
it's 20, 30 meters one way, and
no, it's not as big as that.
Okay.
Maybe 20 meters.
That's what I said. But
okay. I don't know.
We
don't
go
again. We're not very good.
Can we say yards for the Americans?
Oh my god! It's like I don't know.
You could just about throw a football from one side to the other. Throw footballs.
No, you can't.
Anyway,
you do throw an American football.
Okay, right. Okay, so the garden's not huge, and just your garden ends.
There's a wall.
And then the other house's garden begins.
And then there's just a new build, like a set of like 6 new build houses just over the wall.
So as you can see from pictures, you've got a house, and a house overlooking you, which isn't that many. There was 4 or 5 or 6.
And I think the angles of them isn't even like overlooking you. I don't think overlooking.
No, there was huge windows. Yeah, huge windows, and they all had like curtains in. They probably don't want the guests looking into their houses. I have to admit, if I lived there, I'd be staring out that window all the time. I'd have a book about like, oh, this wedding was a 7 out of 10, or this wedding had some interesting like thing. You cannot avoid it. We're not saying anything too bad, but Southwood is very overlooked in the back garden.
But okay,
maybe you don't care. Maybe you don't care.
They're nice. They're nice new build houses. It's not like it's ugly to look at. I think it's just surprising because to me, the point of booking a older venue is to sort of feel a bit more like you've kind of gone back in time a little and you're experiencing this. You're in this old-fashioned house and you're almost being like a princess for the day.
Yeah.
And you're in these sort of grounds and you're sort of taken out of your...
That's a castle, not a manor house.
Okay, but like you're... All right, then you're just...
Is a manor house just a castle for people who can't afford castles?
It's just like a modern-day castle, isn't it?
That's why I booked a manor house.
Yeah, okay.
I would have had a castle, but you can't...
Well, maybe
you've got a manor house budget, not castle budget.
Okay, but it feels to me... I don't know, I just found it surprising. Suddenly it brings you back to reality of you are just kind of in a residential estate in Halifax.
Yes.
That's it. So it isn't a manor house estate with big grounds where you don't see any other buildings. You're not away from real life.
Yeah, that is true.
But is that a problem? I don't know.
Let's move on to a really positive about the garden.
Yeah.
I think the staging looks very good if we're looking in one direction. And then On the other side, you've got a little wooded area, and that's being used for stage photos. And you've got the barn. I'm calling it a barn. It's not a barn. It's a hut. It's a cabin. What is it? Summer house. But they've staged it lovely.
Yeah. So there's a shed that is a bar.
A summer wedding, drinks. They have a prosecco ladder, which is included in one of the packages, which we'll talk about. But a prosecco ladder, I think that's really nice. So you can do things there. You can get some entertainment. You can't have a musician outside, but she did indicate you could have the door open and the musician the musician.
It's a downfall to having a housing development just outside. The sound limitations.
Okay, if you need an outdoor magician, don't book Southwood.
Magician? I mean, I'm sure musicians are not that loud.
Magicians can be very loud. Okay, what happens after the wedding breakfast? Not the wedding. Oh, that's where I'm coming to.
Yeah.
What happens after the sort of the canapes, the drinks, and the photos? You go to the wedding breakfast.
Well, no, we didn't even. We haven't discussed the drinks.
Oh, okay.
It's what's in the package, isn't it?
Let's say what's in the package.
So basically, what they say you would usually do is you would have your ceremony.
Yeah.
You'd go through to the bar area.
Canapes.
All the guests would line up actually outside on the steps. Yeah. Outside the back doors, and then the photographer would probably stand at the bottom of the garden with his back to the new builds, and he'd be there ready to take photos of you coming out of the back doorway with all your wedding party lined up, throwing confetti on you, coming into the garden, which do make beautiful shots. It is a really nice setting.
You can get some lovely photos.
Yeah, so actually the main photos that they encourage there is basically the back of the house. It's not going out of the front entrance door, because with that it is actually the car park.
There was a couple of nice ones where you arrive in a vintage car,
possibly,
but you are in the car park.
Yeah.
But I think that's fine. Okay, so what about the packages? This is a venue that, quite handily in some ways, is a package venue. You go and you say you want the classic package or the heritage package. And this is a top tip for you all. They have priced them so that you would never take the classic package. They can say they've got a package that is as cheap as £4,000 at certain times of the year. But realistically, if you want things like, what do you need? If you want the DJ, if you want canapes, if you want the ceremony there, it costs you a bit more. It might cost you £5,000, but you would do it anyway, because to add on all the extras, you might as well pay for the extra bit anyway.
Yeah. Exactly. I think it's the classic package probably isn't worth discussing.
Yeah.
Because,
Sorry.
I think it might have been designed for people that maybe are having a church ceremony and therefore don't want to have the ceremony there and would go straight there. So they're thinking, I don't want to waste money on paying for that. But really, there is so much more included for the heritage package.
So heritage, you get to exclusive use of the venue, which exclusive room hire off the ground floor, which nobody else is going to go in, because it's not a restaurant, it's not a bar, it's not open to anybody else. No. If it's during the week, the masons might go in. They'll come in round the back and they'll nip up the stairs. But if you go this package, you're gonna get it exclusively. Yeah. You get the DJ.
Yeah.
You get a prosecco ladder included. So you get your toast drinks. You get the big light up love letters, canapes, those sorts of things. And do we want to talk prices? Maybe. Let's give you a rough idea.
Yeah.
This is actually a really good venue. I love the way they are so transparent.
Yeah.
So what I'd say is, please watch the whole video, but then go to Southwood's website and see what packages they have, because they give you package prices for this year, next year, the year after, and the year after. And they tell you what it is January to March, April to October, November, December. They tell you Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday to Thursday.
It's really simple. But, I mean, these prices that are in front of us, they're for how many people?
So if you're getting married 2027, you are having 60 guests in the day and 80 guests in the evening. You're getting married 2027 on a weekend, on a Saturday in summer, you're paying £9,000.
Okay.
But that's only 60 guests during the day.
Yeah.
Extra guests are obviously going to cost you more. So extra day guests are £60. Extra evening guests are £15. So if you're doing 60 people and you want a summer wedding, you will get this venue for £9,000. If you want an extra 20, you're paying a little bit more. You're paying what, 1,200? You don't look convinced, Talia.
I just don't trust your maths, and I'm not in a position to.
We're gonna do this. We're gonna check. But an extra 20 people at £60 per person is 1,200. So if you want 80-day, I'm telling you, if you want 80-day guests and 100 evening guests in 2027 on a Saturday, you are paying 10,200.
Okay.
So it's quite a. She doesn't trust me. It's quite a.
Please check this for yourself.
No, this does not constitute a legally binding contract.
Just a rough idea.
But that's a. I don't want to use the word cheap. What would we say? Affordable wedding.
It is an affordable wedding.
It's an affordable wedding.
Yeah, it is.
In a environment where the rooms can be nice
for a nice venue,
but there's there's potentially compromises.
It's a nice venue. I think that
buckle up. She thinks
no. I think this venue really would suit a smaller wedding that would be maybe around 60.
Yep, you'd get it for £9,000 then.
Yeah.
At date of publication.
You know, it does.
Please check with the vendor.
It says you can have larger weddings, and the space does definitely cater for larger weddings, but I feel that the spaces that you've got to go to, which is ultimately the main room that is either the ceremony or the
bar and the garden
thing, and then the bar and the garden, there literally isn't anywhere else to go. Is those spaces. It's not like getting married at a manor house / hotel that has still got another bar, and it's still, it's got a lot of little nooks, and there literally isn't anywhere else. It's those two main spaces in the garden. Which is, again, I think if there was a wedding of 60 to 80 maybe, it would be nice.
You don't care that not everything is pristine. You don't care that the toilets look a little bit like school gym toilets. Not everything needs to be Instagrammable. Did you say this or am I saying this? You might be a more mature couple who's having a smaller wedding. It might be your second time around or third, no judgment. We listen and we don't judge. And you might not care about that. One thing that is really good and stood out as punching above their weight, the food.
Yeah.
And I know you care about this.
Yeah. No, the food, the food, I was really surprised.
They seemed good. Maybe she did a great job selling it. We did try it. If you want to send us any food, Southwood, please do.
We'll confirm.
She did a great job selling that to us.
To be fair, I was just really surprised by how many options are on this wedding menu here. Although then again, when they kind of say when there's too many options, it's not a good.
But we also looked at the marketing material, and it's marketing material, but we looked at the pictures, and the food looked good as well.
Yeah, I think so. They're basically the menu is there's a lot to choose from in the menu, and how it generally works is they've got a canapé list. There's probably about 12 things on here, and you pick 3 canapés that would be taken around in the ceremony. No, just after the ceremony, and then there's a set 3-course wedding breakfast. So it's starters, mains, desserts. And we're talking about things like French onion soup with a cheese crostini, prawn and crayfish cocktail.
That sounds disgusting to me, but quite fancy.
Grilled goat's cheese, smoked salmon and leek fish cake, pan-fried sea bass with a chive potato cake.
They also said, which I thought was really important, that their chefs would work with you. If you're a big foodie and you had a certain idea, their chefs would work with you. And you'd go in and you do your menu tasting.
Yeah.
I had a lot of confidence in them for that.
Yeah.
And yes, the kitchen's very close to the main room, but then you're going to get served really quick.
Yeah, I was definitely sold on what it sounded great. But again, we haven't.
And it looks good on pictures.
Yeah. I think maybe they might be a gem in that they might have a really great chef there.
So maybe you're a couple that doesn't care about the Instagram, doesn't care about getting ready pictures. Doesn't need the whole experience the night before, the night off.
Yeah, if you're not after those
great food. Yeah.
It could be great.
Tell me about the evening though. What do you think about how would you like?
We haven't even got onto the main day.
the main day.
The main meal.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're in the garden looking at the housing estate.
Basically, there's the option to have canapes with sort of drinks while you're having photos.
And you can have a guitarist who plays from the doorway. Or you can have a magician, musician, whatever it is, wandering around the garden whilst you're getting your pictures taken.
During the day.
During the day. Canapes, cocktail hour.
Yeah. And then, yeah, so basically you would be in the bar area or the garden having drinks and canapes, and there'd be loads of photos being taken at that time. And then at the same time, they're going to be turning the ceremony room around to switch it over to be the wedding breakfast, which they set up with round tables, which we haven't seen.
To be fair, though, I think our opinion of that room as a ceremony room and the wedding breakfast room is exactly the same. It's a decent room. It's nice and light. Decent styling. You could do a lot with it. You could make it look really nice. It would work well. It's an okay size.
It's a great size, actually.
It's got a lot of light. It's nice. I think that is really what you make it.
I think it's just...
And it's a good thing during the wedding breakfast that the kitchens are closed.
At that point, fantastic. Yeah, I think it's neutral. It's just really neutral.
Yeah.
So whatever, if you've got a particular style or colour that you're planning on going for, then that room probably will offer the flexibility to just take whatever you and like a stylist might throw at it. So yeah, I think that's great. And yeah, the food options look brilliant. But again, and then there's part of the package that you do get food tasting for you and your partner. And you can bring additional guests. There is a dish. I think it's £25 a head if you want to bring like.
Because when you and your partner go to most food tastings, they'll give you 2 options. What good is a food tasting with 2 options? You want to taste five
Especially
options.
Because there are so
Take
many.
a few friends.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good chance to just
I want to see some of the options. So I'm going to tell you: onion and shallot tartare. With dressed rocket and crumbled feta cheese. And that looks lovely.
Yeah.
I hate mushroom, but chestnut mushroom and leek risotto and parsnip crisps and black truffle oil for you veggies out there. 6-hour braised beef, bit not brisket, pan-seared chicken breast. It seems decent. And then some of the desserts: chocolate brownies, creme brulee, Eton mess, cheese boards. Yeah, I'm happy with that.
It sounds nice.
Yeah. What do you think happens after the wedding breakfast then? Before the evening?
So,
do you think they go back to the bar?
Yeah, that's what they said.
That's a bit of...
I mean, you'd be ready for a break again, I think. By the time you've been in the main area, you sat there for the whole 3-course meal, you've had speeches. I think people will be ready to just go and probably mingle with someone else that they've not been sat with for the last 2 or 3 hours at the bar area. And it's definitely a good room for that. It's a mingling room.
Yeah, okay. So that's fine.
Yeah, so you go back through to the bar. I don't know how long it takes for them to turn around.
It doesn't take a lot for that. The DJ sets up in a nice place.
Yeah. So you said the DJ was included in that package?
The DJ is included. And top tip, in case you've not seen our other video, please make sure that you look at their
ask them who
Instagram.
The DJ is.
Yeah. You need to know who the DJ is, because if you're going to be mortified if that DJ plays the cha-cha slide, you need to make sure he's not going to do that. I think you can get a band. I'm sure they'll... It's in a residential area, so noise limit is going to be a problem. But this isn't a wedding you book if you've got very precise, detailed tastes that you're very particular about. But you could take your own band.
I think I disagree. I think it just depends on what things are important to you. If you really want it to be, a whole big experience of if you wanted it to last more than a day and include nights, the night before and the next day, this isn't, there isn't the accommodation for that. So it is a afternoon into evening, and everybody's carriages at midnight sort of situation. Is that when it ends?
Yeah, so carriages at midnight, that is the end of your day.
That means...
And
home, by the way, carriages.
Yeah, is that a very British thing? Carriages at midnight. It's basically the nice way of saying we close. Yeah. We're too polite to say we chuck you out. We close, I chuck you out this time. So we say carriages. Like you should have arranged your own carriage.
Is it actually at midnight? I can't remember.
Either at midnight or half midnight, but I think it's midnight.
Half midnight.
Half midnight. But that's the end of your day.
Yeah.
We've spoke a lot now about what you get, what you
Yeah.
Have we spoken about anything you don't get? You don't get that. You don't get space.
Okay.
You don't get freedom to do every single thing you might want. You don't get outdoor music, but you do get a couple of nice changeable spaces.
The wedding coordinator that showed us around was lovely.
Oh my God, she was.
Yes, and it turns out that the wedding company that operate in this venue actually also run the Bowers Mill in Halifax, which is a mill, a wedding venue. I've actually
Shockingly, in case you weren't aware.
Yeah, which
not a working mill.
Which,
it's just a mill building.
My friends have just got married at, actually, and I went
Congratulations.
to a wedding there. Yeah, congrats.
It's all right. Don't feel you need to invite me.
They just met that once, so she didn't get an invite.
I would have made it more
anyway,
fun.
so yes, that's mill, completely different type of venue, but the same people run Southwood. So it's the same coordinators, and and the girl that showed us round,
she was very lovely, very kind, and I think
was just
she
really
cared.
sweet, and she was on it. She knew what couples want, what's needed, and
she was honest about what they don't have. It's not the footballers' wives venue with getting ready rooms that's totally Instagrammable.
Yeah. But that
leads me back to again, who is it for?
And do you want to pay for that stuff if you don't care about it?
There is a slight, who is this venue for, and who is the website making you think this venue is for? Yeah. They aren't very upfront about being overlooked. Very overlooked.
No.
But would you be? But we viewed this thinking, oh, it's a manor house. And I don't know where you go in with certain expectations. Yeah. It both met and didn't meet and did meet my expectations. Yeah. There was areas where I was shocked, where I was like, oh, that wouldn't be for me. But there was areas like, oh, that's actually really good. And I think it's just a very specific venue for a certain type of person.
Yeah. And
a person who's after a certain type of wedding, I should say.
Yeah, and I think the thing for me was I almost felt like it was a nice venue, but you wouldn't I feel like I was expecting it to be slightly cheaper than it is.
Yeah, so there's obviously that thing that weddings are not cheap no matter what. You could get married at a Premier Inn and spend $7,000 probably.
So that's when I'm kind of thinking now, when they're
if this is an affordable wedding, is it affordable enough? I'm going to say it again. 80 people, 80 people, summer 2027 on a Saturday, you're spending 10 grand on your venue. 10,200. It was. I stand by that math. I was in top set maths at school. If this is your first video of ours you've watched, we try and give you the prices. But bearing in mind prices change, but we try and give you the prices. We try and give you a ballpark figure of how much you'll be spending. It is on the more affordable side. Is it as affordable as I would have thought? I got married in 2023. It wasn't that much cheaper than where I got married. But I think it was completely different because it didn't have the nice getting ready room. It didn't have the overnight accommodation. It didn't have the land. It didn't have the space. It didn't have the backing of it being some of the other stuff. But an okay wedding venue if that's what you're looking for. What's your final thought?
Yeah, I think it's a shame it's just not a little bit cheaper. But maybe that's because, I mean, if we're thinking about it in terms of per guest, if it's £60 to add additional guests on, £60 per guest
is massively cheap.
Is cheap.
If you're giving them food, canapes, I think you might only give them something like one glass of wine, a glass of wine rather than half a bottle of wine. Feels so there's a few compromises like that. It feels a bit budget, but it is massively cheap. But we don't want to say this is a place for you if you're looking for a cheap wedding. If you're looking for a good wedding if you're looking for the full experience that's cheap, this isn't it because it's not the full experience. But if you're happy to have certain parts of the day, a couple of nice rooms, somewhere you go at 1 o'clock just before your ceremony, somewhere you have a bit of outdoor space but not loads, and somewhere you leave at midnight, this is a good option.
Right, well, okay. Yeah, I'm just having a look at some of the FAQs. If you really want a dog there, not happening.
Don't take a dog to a wedding. I'm going to get so much hate for this. She's a dog person and a cat person. Don't take a dog to a wedding.
People love it.
Don't take dogs. Don't take kids. Have a night off.
The dog can be the little ring bearer, but not here.
It can't be here.
They don't offer corkage.
Nowhere does, though. A lot of places don't.
You can kind of drop off
your
decor the day before.
Potentially, she said, and
Yeah,
there's
they
a
have
storage room.
storage, and they will tear down your decor at the end of the night
And
and
put it
then
away for
put it
you.
away in storage again. So it's not something you have to deal with. So that's good. The car parking space is 40 cars. They generally advise that basically cake stylist florists arrive from 9 in the morning.
Why is that an FAQ?
I'm just saying, well, just because it's probably not anywhere else.
Odd.
They provide quite a lot of the, chairs, table linen, crockery, cutlery, glassware.
Yep. It's a plug and play wedding.
They did. I think they said that they provided centerpieces.
Oh, actually, yeah, that is a good one, and I think that's an important one. They have centerpieces, and did we see them or did we just see some?
No, we
didn't
stuff? See them.
But it sounded quite nice.
I think there's a
mirror, some little tea lights, candelabras. I think. As somebody who's got married relatively recently, you want to know what they provide so that you know what you're working with. And I would have and did in my wedding use what they provided and added to it. But again, for me, cut and dry, this is a plug and play wedding that if you want to get married without much fuss, without spending 20 grand, you can genuinely do it for £10,000 here and get near enough everything you need.
Yeah. And one of the big benefits of where it is, I know we complained that it feels a bit, it's sort of
on a housing estate.
It's not a state, it's like housing.
In a housing neighbourhood? How would you like me to?
A residential
area.
A residential road. That is very close to Halifax centre. But the pros of that is it's very close to motorway links. Leeds, Manchester, all of that.
Huddersfield.
Like it's easy. It is easy to get to. You can't have fireworks, by the way. Or they will let you have confetti if it is biodegradable.
Everybody says that. Everybody says that.
That's it, really.
So, would you crown it a Great British venue?
I would not.
I would not. I would think it's a really nice venue if it's what you're looking for. If it's what you're looking for and it's got the main things that matter to you, it's a nice venue. I think we leave it there. I just say, hopefully now you have an idea of what it looks like. You know whether or not to go view it yourself.
Yeah.
And please, please, please tell us what you think. Add it to the comments.
Yeah.
We want to get couples talking and sharing information, understanding what matters to you, what you're looking for.
Yeah, I know that I personally prefer venues that have accommodation and just have a bit more to it to extend the wedding day. And so maybe that is part of my disappointment coming through in that there isn't that, but it just isn't what it is. It is a wedding venue.
For the day. For ceremony, breakfast, and evening party venue.
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah, that is it. But obviously, check out the comments, check out the links, and happy venue hunting, guys.
Yeah.